All right, we're live. So, welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a few weeks,
How long has it been?
uh, long enough. I
Long
think a
enough.
whole month actually,
Long enough for me to grow a big ass beard.
which takes you one day.
Took me 3 weeks.
hmm Takes me. This is a couple weeks right here. Yeah,
You have shaved maybe twice in your life, haven't you?
I have, and that was about
hmm
3 years ago.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna keep it quick this week. I believe it's episode 4 now. Technically episode 5, but we're just gonna be
First one
talking
doesn't
about
count.
movies. Basically movies we've seen in the past month or so and movies coming out. I'm actually seeing Guardians of the Galaxy tonight, so that should be exciting and interesting. So,
I remember when they announced that movie, I was like, they're running out of ideas and they're just grabbing any Marvel character.
I was kind of skeptical because I haven't heard of Guardians of the Galaxy myself. Um, so I know they were kind of a little group out there that weren't part of the totally mainstream like X-Men and Avengers, but yeah, I think they had a good cult following or had one. So my main reason actually to seeing it now, which I've talked about in another episode, is that um, they revealed that okay, a bad guy is going to be tied in with um, the next Avengers movie. Who we see this guy at the end of the first Avengers movie too. So
hmm
that's I'm seeing it for the tie-in.
I mean, it looks like a fun movie.
Yeah, the newest trailers are actually putting more and more action. The first one is pretty silly, so I'm seeing, Chris Pratt. The only time I've really seen him was Parks and Rec, and he doesn't make me feel like he's a real serious actor.
He was in what's that movie called? Dark 30, 30 Dark something. Hold on. Zero Dark 30,
Okay.
which is about assassinating Bin Laden, and he was one of the soldiers, and he did a pretty good job being a serious character in that movie.
Hmm.
He's one of those. He's like Harrison Ford. He's like the new Harrison Ford, where he can be serious and funny at the same time.
I thought that was Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Cruise. The only time that I've laughed at Tom Cruise was in Tropic Thunder.
That's true, and that wasn't really him, which was the best part.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, it was him, but a lot of people didn't realize it was him until the
Oh yeah,
credits.
because he had so much makeup on.
Yeah. All right. So next movie. What do you think of Under the Skin? I haven't. I have it sitting on my hard drive. I haven't watched it yet.
When I first watched it, I felt weird about it. It was good. It reminded me a lot of 2001: Space Odyssey, just because it had long uh, dialogue-less scenes with only music, and it was in slow motion, but things were happening slowly in the scenes, if that makes sense.
hmm
Um, It was beautiful. If you just turned the audio off and just looked at it, it was gorgeous. Actually, no, don't turn the audio off because I love the soundtrack. It had this creepy soundtrack that wasn't really instruments. It was like a drum, a bass drum, and a violin, I think. I think that's all that there was in the soundtrack. And it was just creepy because there were creepy scenes in it. And it's one of those movies that you can't just watch it once and you realize what's going on. You have to watch it multiple times. And then I decided to Google, because there's scenes, I don't want to spoil it, but there's scenes that
This movie
involve
stars
Scarlet.
Scarlett Johansson, by the way, if anybody
Yes,
didn't know.
yes. And there's scenes involved where Scarlett Johansson is outside in a van driving around trying to pick up guys. You'll realize why she's doing that. But I was wondering why it felt so awkward. I didn't know if and the actors weren't that good. So I mean, not that they weren't good. It's just they weren't well-known actors, and it was a little weird. And then later on, I realized that they shut the whole thing with hidden cameras. None of those guys are actors, and they just literally went in the street and had Scarlett Johansson trying to pick up guys.
Hmm.
And I've watched behind the scenes stuff where they took out the dashboard and put cameras in there. It's not like they use GoPro. They use good cameras, but what they did was they put the lens and the sensor there, hardwired it to the actual mechanics of the camera that was in the back of the van, and that's how they shot the movie. And that's not all. I mean, there's actual actors and everything in the movie, but there's a lot of the parts where they actually used actual people and not actors. And there's a scene where she's at the mall, and apparently they just put a camera in the purse with a hole in it, and that's how they shot it. You would never know, but that's how they shot it. It was a very interesting movie. It's a movie you'll watch over and over again, and it's going to grow on you and become a bigger deal as time passes. Because that's how 2001 Space Odyssey was. No one really liked it too much, and then as it went on and it aged, people are like, that was a good movie. Things were done in there that had never been done before.
Alright. Next up, Transformers 4. What was it called? I forgot the tagline. It wasn't important because the movie wasn't good. Oh yeah, I saw it. And the other movies I would have minded. I think I saw at least twice in the movies, but this one I really don't care about it. After I saw it, it's more of the same stuff. Running around, Michael Bay, slow motion, explosions, except worse music this time. What else?
I was watching this video. Yeah, I was watching this video. Do you know who Adam Savage is?
Yeah.
Okay, if people are watching and don't know Adam Savage, he's the funny guy in MythBusters. I only call him funny because he's out of him and Jamie Hyneman, he's the funnier one. But he works with this company called Tested, and they do a lot of videos and everything about making stuff. And he was talking. They have a podcast, and I was listening to it. And he was describing, because he knows a lot about movies. He's been in show business for many years. He's made a lot of props and everything for movies. He worked on Star Wars and a bunch of other movies, but he was talking about Michael Bay compared to, what's that movie called? Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
And it made so much sense to me why I don't like Michael Bay's directing. He said that you lose your physical space watching a Michael Bay movie. The camera starts somewhere, and it's cut so fast, so many places, that the infamous alarm. But it cuts so fast, and there's so many short scenes that you forget where you are in that physical space. You don't know where you are, what you're watching. You know who's in the fight, if there's a fight with the robots or anything. You know where that's taking place, but you don't know where you are in this. But Pacific Rim, you know exactly where you are. You are almost always behind and to the left of the main robots. They're always fighting, so you always know, you always see everything. It's not zoomed in all the way in, short, tight frames and anything like that. You know exactly where you are, but Michael Bay, it's just explosions, people running, and it's just all over the place. So you don't know what's going on. So you get frustrated watching.
I didn't like Mark Wahlberg in it. I mean, he's okay in other movies. Not dissing him at all, because he's okay. I like him in some movies. This I don't care about him and giant robots. As usual, there was just way too much personal human thing. I know it's about like the human struggle with Transformers, and a lot of times you see like the best parts are in the trailer. I'd say the best part was in the last part of the trailer. Um,
The big ship.
no, that not even that. That was silly. Just really the last 45 minutes, the last half hour. Walk into that part of the movie and you'd be good.
Really.
It got really good and really intense at that last part. But other than that, there was nothing really worth watching. Um, so moving on, I think Transformers was done after 3. They could have totally ended it there. Now they're really stretching it. They're stretching it before, and now they're stretching it a lot more.
Have you seen the trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I have.
You know what upsets me so much? Everyone's saying it's gonna be awful. I even though it's Michael Bay, I'm not gonna already judge it. But the only thing that I watched in it that I already know I'm not going to enjoy is Shredder, and it made me go Google Shredder from the uh, TV series, the cartoons, to compare it. The cartoon Shredder had the handpiece, I think, an elbow thing, and a shoulder pad, and then that was it with the helmet.
Yeah.
So, like 6, 7 pieces, and he's wearing like a chainmail thingy, and in the movie trailer, Shredder's almost, I think it's a robot. I don't think it's actually Shredder, and it has like 20 knives coming out of each arm, and they fly and come back to him, snap back into his arm, and it's too much. It's again, he's doing that thing where he knows. I feel like he knows they're ninjas, so it's not going to be as many explosions. So if he can't have explosions, he needs a giant robot. Anyway, I just want to rant about that.
So, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
You seen that yet?
Yes, I have. And however, this one was good. Um, a lot of apes talking. You saw it too, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
A little bit of spoilers, but yeah, a lot of apes talking.
Are they actually talking, or are they doing, stuff like from the trailer? Apes, good.
They were doing mostly that. So they were doing some sign language, like when they were with each other. But you start seeing the more influence of the humans. Basically, this is even more spoilers. This is all we do, spoilers on the show. It takes place 10 years after the first movie, well, the first reboot movie. You notice, like, during the credits, there's a virus spreading out, and this is known from the trailer. The virus kills a big chunk of the population on Earth. So
how big?
I don't remember the numbers, but enough where there's like a few hundred people left in San Francisco. So you see them and what's his name? Guy who plays Commissioner Gordon.
Gary Oldman.
Yes. Which he's kind of a jerk in this movie. You think he's like from Commissioner Gordon? You think he's gonna be like a good guy?
Gary Oldman is known for being the bad guy in movies. It was only Commissioner Gordon and Sirius Black. It's only recently that he was the good guy. Before that, he was Dracula from the Dracula movie. He was the bad guy in The Professional. He was the bad guy in The Fifth Element. He's usually always has been the bad guy.
He was more like a sideline, I want to get it done, but my way kind of guy. He wasn't going to instigate things, but when things went downhill, he just took advantage of it. But yeah, so the apes, they all built their own society. You see a lot of the apes from the first movie come back, and they all have names now. I think they had names before. And was it Caesar? Yeah, so Caesar's still the main guy. Everybody, they have their own society. They don't even know if humans are still alive. So that's the interesting part. And then the part you see in the trailer where they're like meeting each other in the woods. Basically, is when they made first contact again, and everybody's freaking out. There's talking apes.
Oh, so they
And
didn't even know that the apes are talking and
no, they didn't. Yeah, the last time they saw the apes were when they all escaped from the zoo at the end of the first one, I think.
really?
Yeah.
I like that.
Um, so I won't spoil everything, but yeah, apes with guns.
Mm. I think it was the third trailer that came out that had that scene with the monkey, the ape who walks over to the two guys and acts like he's drinking and then shoots a gun. That scene was terrifying because I wasn't expecting it, and I'm laying down at like midnight, just new trailer, let me watch and go to bed, and the whole trailer had a not a funny but not too serious of a tone, and then all of a sudden that happens, and that caught me off guard. So if the whole movie keeps doing things like that, I would like to watch it.
It was kind of like that.
Nice.
All right, and last thing we will discuss, The Hobbit Part 3. So that's coming out around Christmas time again. Finally, what's actually funny is if you follow the Lord of the Rings community or Tolkien community around Facebook and the internet, they've been all waiting for this trailer to come out, which it's compared to other years, it's about a month late.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was rumors it was going to be attached with this movie or that movie. It's actually going to be with Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'll see the trailer on the big screen tonight. And we just get a little teaser of what's to come. Last time we saw Smaug from the end of the second movie was basically heading towards Lake Town.
Mm-hmm.
No idea what's going to happen unless you read the book,
Mm-hmm.
the children's book. So yeah, he's heading towards there. So now in this trailer, you see the dwarves like getting ready for war, getting armor, getting all dressed up, and then you actually see Smaug like setting fire to the town. So we know what happens then. And they're trying to make it a Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy type battle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so going from the trailer, I guess I feel that they're not really stretching out that much from what we originally thought. You remember they said, hey, we're coming out with a Hobbit movie. Like, okay, well, we're making it 2 movies now. Okay, we're making it 3 movies. All right,
yeah, I remember
that's a
that.
lot. Yeah. So they didn't disappoint with the second one. It went kind of long, but
I was thinking about it the other day. I was sitting around and thinking about the fact that there's 3 movies, and then I was thinking about it, and I realized I did enjoy Hobbit, both the previous movies, waiting for the third one, but I have a feeling that it's not meant for the same fans of Lord of the Rings. Not that it's not meant for them, but it's not. Yeah, it's not meant for them. It's meant for a younger crowd, I feel like. It's almost a children's movie.
I think they're quite the opposite because they've just made it into a Lord of the Rings movie with scary images and just everything's
but
still
they've
so much
done
darker.
I know, but they've done. It's dark, but it's not. Maybe it's because I've been watching too much Game of Thrones lately, so none of the Hobbit was that dark to me. But it's just the way they shot it. I don't know. They focused a lot on the story part, and not the story part again, but the. I think it's because they're stretching it. I think it's because they're making it into 3 movies. They don't have enough battles or anything. You know what I'm saying? There's no battles. There's no like that whole.
There weren't. That's
yeah. So why turn into 3 movies? That's my thing. If there were so many battles and everything in Lord of the Rings, And even though it didn't happen in the same um, order as the books, because the movies switched them around a little bit, the timeline, it still had a lot of battles, it had action, but they just squeezed in action. Like that whole barrel scene, it was cool, but it doesn't do anything. That's just them escaping. There's no reason for that barrel scene. The battles in Lord of the Rings have consequences, and there's a point to it. This is why this battle is taking place. It's like an actual war. They're trying to. It's all.
Yeah, it's called the War of the Ring in the books. The thing is, it is based off a kid's book. So Peter Jackson's done a good job of stretching it out and actually filling in stuff that in Lord of the Rings was told that happened in The Hobbit, but you never actually see in The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
In the original book, Gandalf disappears and you have no idea what's going on. He comes back, he's like, yeah, I was busy. And then in Lord of the Rings, he says, well, when I was with Bilbo, I actually was fighting Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
So then they actually put that in The Hobbit, which is what I really liked. Now, however, yeah, there's not a lot of action, and if anything, The Hobbit was basically all singing and dancing around. If you saw the extended of the second Hobbit, the goblins sing that song for like 5 minutes. So that's how the whole book was. So they toned it down with the silliness a little bit.
I don't like what's his name, the king of the whatchamacallit.
Was it Dane? It wasn't the Dane.
Hold
The
on.
guy of Lake Town, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No, hold on.
Oh, Bard?
All their names rhyme, so I can't remember their name.
Bard the Bowman?
Give me a second. Keep talking. Blah, blah, blah.
So, they're gonna make this battle huge. Oh, Thorin.
Yeah, I hate him.
Yeah, all he does is hero shots.
I hate him. Like there's one scene that annoys me so much in the first movie. It's everything slow motion. He's walking on a tree that's on fire. He's taunting the orcs, and the camera's right here in his face. He's always frowning, breathing heavily, and he gets his ass kicked. If you play that whole sequence without the slow motion, it maybe takes a minute and a half for him to get his ass kicked. I don't know why that was necessary. It was almost comedic to me that he's walking and everything's slow motion. There's a intense, epic soundtrack in the background, and then just he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the same thing, and then he starts getting greedy at the end of the second movie. So, another book spoiler for The Hobbit. I don't know how this is going to turn out, because at the battle, basically, right when the battle begins, Battle 5 Armies, Bilbo is running along and slips on a rock, basically, and knocks himself out. So he knocks himself out at the beginning of the battle, wakes up at the end, and he misses the entire thing. So everything that happens within this battle, Peter Jackson is making up, or using an educated guess. Because you don't have any details. All you know is was it the orcs, the elves, men, dwarves, and it might have been, I think the eagles came too.
These eagles, I swear to God. I feel like every time he wrote the book, every time he's like, oh God, what do I do now? I went too far. Eagles. Throw eagles at him.
It might have been like the wolf thingies. It was either that or eagles.
I bet it's the eagles.
Alright.
I have one more thing to say before we leave.
Yep.
I rewatched the Wolverine, X-Men Origins. I just want to remember because I've heard so much negative stuff about the movie. I watched it, I liked it, I didn't mind it, but then it's so many
Hold on.
people said.
Your microphone's like messed up.
Is it working now?
There. Yes.
Okay. Uh, so many people hated the movie that I completely forgot what I felt about it. I remembered not minding it, so I rewatched it. I don't mind it still, but there's one plot hole. There's tons of plot holes in it, but there's one that bothered me so much, and I can't get over it. It's just annoying me now. They put the group together, right? It's Wolverine and all these other mutants. I think one of them isn't the Asian guy who's the best gun person. I don't know if that's a how.
Wait, are we talking about Origins?
Yes.
Why were you watching that to begin with?
Like I said, I wanted to, I remembered liking it. Then I watched something online about the top worst movies, worst action movies of all time, and that was on the list. And I said I don't remember that being that bad, so I rewatched it. Again, I didn't mind it. It's anything with Wolverine I like, but that one plot hole is bothering me, and that's in the beginning of the movie when they put the group together. They explain why each person is so important, and when they describe the the Asian character who's amazing with guns, he's the best gun person on the planet. Or shooter on the planet. So Wolverine starts killing everyone one by one, or going after everyone one by one in that group. And that Asian guy is the last one before Sabretooth. And that's when that whole scene happens when he jumps on the helicopter, you know, it hits, and he keeps getting shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he kills that guy, the helicopter blows up and everything, that guy's dead. And then I forgot about it. And then at the end of the movie, when what's his name, the guy who injected him with adamantium,
Striker.
he's like, "Oh crap, Wolverine is about to come get me," and he reaches down. It's literally right where he's standing. For some reason, he's standing right where he needs to be standing. Bends down, grabs a suitcase, opens it up, or briefcase, opens it up, and there's a gun in it with an adamantium bullet. And the other guy says, "What's the bullet for?" I mean, what's that? He says, "Wolverine's skull is made out of adamantium. The only thing that can bring him down is an adamantium bullet." Here's the plot hole. Why didn't the Asian guy have an adamantium bullet?
I don't know.
He's literally the best gun person on the planet. And the only way
you can't have hundreds of adamantium bullets. That's the thing.
All he needed was one. Because he kept shooting Wolverine the entire time, but he kept healing, so nothing happened to him. But if he had that adamantium, he's never missing. He's amazing at shooting his gun. But if he had an adamantium bullet, it would have been over.
So they said they could not kill him. Basically, he knew that he wouldn't be able to kill him with the adamantium bullet. I know now that raises the question: why even go after Wolverine if you know you can't really kill him?
I don't understand it. I mean,
so
you have enough money or enough adamantium to build an entire skeleton out of it, or at least coat an entire skeleton with it, and make a shield. Well, he didn't do it, but there's enough on the planet that they made a shield for Captain America with it.
That was vibranium. Vibranium.
Oh, I thought that was adamantium.
No.
Ah, oopsie.
It's one of the only things that can resist adamantium, I believe.
No, okay. Well, adamantium. They have enough to quote his entire skeleton with it. They don't have enough for 2 bullets. Bothers me so much.
They knew his brain was gonna grow back, so they're like, if we can't kill him, we'll make him not remember, or make him forget.
Anyway.
So I believe that's it for tonight. nice and short. Hopefully, we'll get right back to all the Android stuff later on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so maybe we'll be able to do something next week.
Yep, hopefully. It's been busy.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.